Hello everybody, welcome to my presentation. Hope everybody's having a good day today. And I decided to do 4.2, which is all about polynomial division. And the first example I'm going to be doing, we're going to start off with long division, is 3x cubed minus 2x plus 5, and I'm going to divide that by x minus 3. So the first step of the actual process is getting everything where it needs to be. So we start off by putting the x plus 3 on the outside, and then we need to put everything in here, 3x cubed, and we need to add a placeholder for x squared since we don't have one. And subtract 2x plus 5. Alright, so our first thing we need to figure out is how can we get this x to be 3x cubed. So since we already have x, we need 3x squared. That's what can get this x to turn into 3x cubed. So 3x squared. And now what we're going to do is we're going to subtract that after we multiply this term to x and negative 3. So it'll be 3x cubed minus 9x squared. And a little tip, I like to always put it in parentheses, just because it makes it a little bit neater when you're trying to subtract everything. So, obviously, this cancels out because it's 3x cubed minus 3x cubed. But, in terms of the 0x squared, we're adding that because it's 0x squared minus negative 9. And obviously, a negative minus a negative is always a positive. So, we're left with 9x squared minus 2x plus 5. So, now we just need to repeat the process. How are we going to get x turned into 9x squared? So, we need to add 9x. So, it's going to be 9x times x plus 3. And we're going to distribute it. And we're going to be left with 9x squared plus 27x. So, put it in our parentheses and subtract it. Oops, minus 27x. And once again, the 9x squared is going to cancel out. So we're going to be left with, I do have an eraser here, negative 2x minus negative 27x. So it's going to be negative 2x plus 27x. So we're going to be left with 25x. And that's just going to turn into 25x plus 5. So finally, clean this up here, we need to find what we can multiply x by to turn it into 27x. What can we multiply it by? Just 25. So, plus 25. And, once again, distribute. So, 25x minus 75. Sorry if I'm writing a little slanted. Parentheses, subtract it. So, cancel it out. And then, we are left with 5 plus 75. And that's all we have left. Now, we can't do anything with this 80 because there's nothing that we can turn it into because we're just left with x. So 80 is going to be our remainder. So, what does this equal? We're going to say 3x cubed minus 2x, plus 5 divided by x minus 3 equals 3x squared plus 9x plus 25 with a remainder of 80. And that is going to be our answer. But now there is an easier way to do it, and that is through synthetic division. Alright, so I cleaned this up a little bit, and now we're back to the original question, which was 3x cubed minus 2x plus 5 divided by x minus 3. So to do synthetic division, it's going to be pretty close to the same process when putting the top part into our, not box, but the area we divide. So we still need a placeholder. Pretty much what we're doing is just dropping our variables. So we're going to go 3, 0, -2, and 5. And then, when getting your divisor, you're going to want to set that equal to 0, add 3, so x equals 3, and that's what we're going to be dividing by, not -3. Let's get that out of the way. So, what do we have to do? Bring down 3, and that's going to stay the same. Then we multiply 3 and 3 to get 9. Add 0 and 9. Multiply 3 and 9 to get 27. Add that to -2 to get 25. And multiply that by 3 to get 75. And add that to 5 to get the remainder of 80. And this is the answer that we just got doing it the long way. 3x squared plus 9x plus 25, remainder 80. So synthetic division is the far easier process to divide by, but there are some cases where you have to use long division, like if it's, say, 3x cubed plus 2x squared plus x plus 5 divided by x squared plus 1. This one you'd have to use long division just because of that exponent. But if it would just be divided by x plus 1, then it'd be way easier to use synthetic division. So basically, before I go off on a big rant, the way synthetic division works is if you have A, B, C, D, and you have x over here, it's just going to be bring down, and then think about it like this. Multiply, add, whatever. Multiply that, add it here. Multiply that, add it here, and that'll be your remainder. So, let's try doing another one, another long division one, and another synthetic division one. So here we have x cubed plus 2x squared minus 17x minus 10 divided by x plus 5. And even though you could do it synthetically, let's try doing it the long way first just to get more practice. So x plus 5. And then do we need to put a placeholder in? No, we do not. So x cubed plus 2x squared minus 17x minus 10. So, right now what do we need to get x to x cubed? We only need x squared. So let's bring this up here and multiply it by x squared. And we're going to get x cubed plus 5x squared. So let's bring that back down here. Remember, parentheses and then subtract it. So this will cancel out. And then here, we're actually going to get a negative number, because it's 2x squared minus 5x squared. So we're going to get negative 3x squared minus 17x. We'll just do it like that. And bring this down. So, how can we get this, or this to that? Well, we need to subtract 3x. Keep writing that in the way. And once again, if you need the practice, or if you need to see it written out, bring it up top. Minus 3x. So, negative 3x squared minus 15x. So, minus negative 3x squared minus 15x. And remember, since this is going to be minus a negative, it's plus, and here too. So this will cancel out, and this will turn into negative 2x minus 10. Bring that down. So, what do we need for this? We need just negative 2. So once again, just bring negative 2 up, and you're left with negative 2x minus 10. Minus the negatives, so it cancels out. I'll put minus 2 there. Cancels out, and we are left with a remainder of 0. So our answer is x squared minus 3x minus 2, remainder 0. So now let's try doing it synthetically. Alright, so if you'll recall, we don't need to put in any placeholders, so we can just put that right in the equation. So 1, 2, negative 17, and negative 10. And for the denominator, remember we need to solve for x, but it's just going to equal negative 5. So plug that in there. And remember step 1, bring it down. Step 2, multiply. So we're going to get negative 5. And then step 3 finally is to add it. So we'll get negative 3. And then remember, just wash, rinse, repeat. So add, multiply, multiply. So we're going to get 15, and that's going to give us negative 2, and that's going to give us 10, and that's going to give us a remainder of 0. So x squared minus 3x minus 2. Yep. And this is, like I said, a little bit easier, but sometimes you'll have to use long division just in certain cases. And this has been the conclusion to my presentation. We did the 2 problems. So I hope that you now know a little bit more just from listening to me babble on. And in case you need something to discuss about in the comments. So through the power of bad editing, here's a few problems you can try on your own if you want to pause it, or I can just slowly show you them. Unless you want to talk about my great acting and better camera work. But if not, this also works. Not focusing. There we go. Alright, thank you for listening to me babble on. And have a great day, and good luck with the test and all the assignments and everything along the lines of that. Alright, have a good one.